Hi yogis, welcome to your handstand practice. This is really an easy beginner practice. So if you do not have an arm balance practice, no worries. This is going to help us build strength in our shoulders and our core so that we can develop that handstand practice that we want. So we're just going to start with a little warm up, and then we're going to move through a few drills and then do a little handstand play. And then we'll finish up with a little cool down in shavasana. So that's kind of the plan for the day. So we'll just begin standing, however's comfortable for you. We're going to bring right ear to right shoulder. Maybe nodding the head back and forth. Good. Drop that chin to the chest and roll to the other side. Nodding back and forth. Bringing that head back through neutral. I'm going to bring the right arm across the body. Good. And then switch arms opposite way. Good. And let's clasp the hands behind the body. So clasp the hands together. We're driving the knuckles towards the ground, so opening through the chest. Good. And release those hands and just start to swing the trunk back and forth. Just making some twisting motions. Good. And back to neutral. Start to circle the arms forward. Big circles. And then reverse those circles. Good. You can release the arms and we'll just bring the legs into a wide-legged stance. Big inhale here and then just fold forward. Just stretching gently first. Wide-legged forward fold. Taking any wiggles you need to here to just warm the body up. We're being playful today, so not taking ourselves seriously. Having a little fun. Let's walk those fingertips over to that right foot. Switching down through that right leg. And walk those fingertips back to the middle, and we'll go to the opposite leg. Walk those fingertips back to the middle. We're going to toe heel the feet together, coming into a forward fold here. So we can grab opposite elbows, hang in ragdoll, bend the knees as much as you need to here. Stretching through the back side of the legs, those hamstrings. Good. And just release the hands to the mat. We're just going to step the feet back and come down into a tabletop position. So the palms will be directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. And we're just going to start to make some wrist circles here. So we're just going to make some circles, pouring weight into different parts of the hand. So feeling the weight transfer from the back of the palm to the top of the palm. Just kind of warming up these wrists. Wherever you are, just reverse the circles. Good. Let's flip the palms so that the fingertips are pointing towards the outside edges of the mat and just start to sway back and forth here, transferring weight from one palm to the other. Good. And let's flip those palms so that the fingertips are pointing towards the knees. And then we're just going to gently rock back towards the knees and back to neutral. Good. And then just flip the palm over so the back of the palm is going to be on the mat. Fingertips still pointing towards the knees. And gently, very gently rock back here. May not put very much weight in your hands. This can be kind of stressful on the wrists if you have any wrist issues, so be careful here. Good. And then just sit back onto the heels and kind of shake the hands out. I want to talk for a minute about our handstand hands. So when we are coming into our handstand positions, we want to bring our fingertips as wide as possible to get as much surface area as we can. And then we're going to create kind of a little suction cup on the mat with our palms. So to do that, we're going to think about bringing our pinky towards our thumb. So kind of we'll suction cup the hands up a little bit. So that's going to help us with our grip a little bit. So whenever I say your handstand hands, that's what I'm talking about, is wide fingers, really thinking about kind of creating a grip with your hands. So this next drill or warm up, we're going to bring our handstand hands towards the mat. So wide fingers, thinking about really creating that suction cup movement. And we're also going to think about bringing this part of our elbow, so kind of like the front of our elbow, the eye of our elbow, kind of twisting the arm so that that is forward, so pointing towards the front. And then we're going to also think about always when we're coming into our handstand positions, we're going to think about pushing the ground away, so really pushing through the shoulders, kind of like a little scat push-up. It's going to really activate the back of this arm here, the shoulder here. So strong in the shoulders, have our handstand hands, eye of the elbow pointing forward. We're going to pour just a little bit of weight into our hands. So just shift your weight so that it's kind of over the palm. And then just think about seeing if you can lift the back of the palm up just a tiny little bit. So rocking the weight more onto this part of our palm and lifting this part of our palm off the mat. Just enough so that we can slip a credit card under there and then drop it back down. I call these wrist push-ups. So go up and down, up and down, up and down. Last one, up and down. Good. Sit back on those heels, shake those hands out. Good. A little power flicker here. Okay, next we're going to do what I call flashlights. So what we want to do is bring our hands out in front of us. Arms are strong, straight, strong in the shoulders, and we're going to flick our hands open as wide as we can and fast. So it's called flashlights. This really helps to build that hand strength, that forearm strength. Let's bring our arms overhead. Still flicking our fingers. And arms out to the sides. And up overhead again. Try not to flare those ribs. And arms out in front. My hands are getting tired. Yours might be too. Your fingers might be on fire. Forearms on fire. And shake them out. Good. Those are great to build strength for all of our handstand or arm balance positions. If you're into crow or any other arm balances, those are awesome to do. Okay. So we'll start to warm up our core a little more now that our hands and our forearms are on fire. So we're going to bring the palms back onto the mat. Handstand hands, of course. Strong through the shoulders. Tuck the toes, and we're going to come up into our plank. So here we are thinking about really pushing the ground away. We're thinking about strong in the abs, not letting our abs flare like this, really strong. Pushing the ground away with our shoulders, squeezing the bottom and squeezing the legs. So everything tight, everything strong. We'll hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Drop the knees down and to walk those palms towards the top of the mat. So we're coming down into puppy. And you can drop the forehead to the mat. Stretching through the shoulders and resting here for a moment. Big breath in. And let it go. And let's walk those hands back underneath the shoulders. And back into that tabletop position. Handstand hands. Elbows pointed forward. Pushing through the shoulders. Tuck the toes. We're coming back into plank. Strong in the core. Strong in the abs. Squeezing the bottom. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now walk those fingertips. Actually, we're just going to shift the hips up and back, coming back into our down dog here. Good. You can pedal the feet here if you'd like. So dropping one heel to the mat, then the other. Both heels down. Good. Coming back through plank and drop those knees down to the mat. Sit back on those heels, shake the hands out. We're going to move through a few handstand prep drills. So the first one's handstand prep 1. And so we're going to be walking our feet in and shifting some weight into our hands. So we're going to start kind of in the middle of the mat. Strong hands. We're going to come up into our down dog position and then walk the feet in so that the feet are kind of close to the palms, but the palms can stay on the mat. So wherever that is, if that's back here, totally fine. Then we're going to shift our weight into our hands. So we're kind of more in a vertical position from here to here, right? Strong in the hands and then coming up onto our tippy toes, contracting in the abs. Maybe this is as far as we go with handstand prep 1 today, or maybe we try to hop the feet in just a tiny bit. Walk the hands forward. Strong, pushing the ground away, coming onto our tippy toes, contracting the abs, and hop. So let's do a couple more of these hops. Step the hands forward, coming up onto the toes, contracting the abs, hop. And last one, hands forward, coming up onto the toes, contracting the abs, and hop. Awesome. Stand up. Shake those wrists out. That's handstand prep 1. Handstand prep 2, we're going to practice our little kick. So we'll come into our down dog, handstand hands, of course, always into our down dog. And then we're just going to see if we can come kind of like to a 3-legged dog, but we're going to shift our weight forward into our hands. So walking those toes in so that we have our line from our wrist to our shoulders, pushing through the shoulders. One leg comes up, bend that knee, and just hop. So it's a one-legged hop, kind of what we were doing earlier, but just one-legged. Now switch to the opposite side. We all have one side that's better than the other. And back to the original side. And the opportunity side. And original side. Last one. Maybe getting a little float. Good. And drop the knees down. Sit back on the heels. Shake the hands out. Good. Whew. You'll find as you do these drills and your handstand practice that you need to take a lot of breaks, and that's okay. It can be very taxing on the body. So that's handstand prep 2. And we all have one side that's better than the other. So, but practice both sides. Try to maintain practicing both sides. I don't like to practice my opportunity side either, but it's necessary. Okay. So then next we're going to see if we can switch those kicks. So coming back to our handstand prep 2. So walking the feet in from down dog. And we're going to bring one leg to the sky, bend that knee, and see if we can switch. And switch. And switch. Maybe getting a little more float each time. And switch. Again, one side will be better than the other. And last one. Good. Come down onto the knees, shake those hands out. Amazing. Okay. Next, we're going to see if we can hop both feet. So this might be a little scary if you have a fear of flipping over too much. Get close to the wall so that you will be caught by the wall if you go too far, but you probably won't. So handstand hands, coming into our down dog, but walking those feet in. So we're creating that line, pouring the weight into the hands. And then bend both knees and just do a baby hop. Just a baby hop. Maybe with each hop, you get a little more float. Let's do one more. Good. Sit back on those heels, shake those hands out. Awesome. How's everybody feeling? Good. All right. Next, we're going to try to kick up to the wall. But before we do that, I want to show you what we want to think about when we're kicking up to the wall. So obviously, we're going to have our handstand hands, wide fingers, creating those suction cup grips. We're going to place the hands. We're going to get our elbows forward. All the things we've been doing. Strong through the shoulders, so pushing the shoulders away. Pushing them up towards the ears. Pushing the ground away. Then we're going to think about kind of creating a checklist from wrists. So that's the beginning, right? Hands, wrists, shoulders. And then we're thinking about tucking our ribs in, so not letting them flare out like this. Tucking our ribs in. Squeezing the belly. Squeezing the bottom. Legs together. Point toes. So it's kind of a checklist. Hands. Before you ever even go up. Hands. Elbows. Push. Then kick up. Contract the abs. Contract the bottom. Contract the legs. So checklist all the way up from the ground. So we'll practice kicking up. You can use the wall. I recommend using the wall if you are new to this practice at all. So we got our hands set, our elbows, pushing the ground away. We come up onto our tippy toes. And we practice that kick up just like we did in our drills. So bringing one leg up, bend that knee, and kick. And kick. And then you can rest the feet on the wall if you'd like. Think about your checklist, your hands you're pushing, your abs are contracted, your bottom's contracted. Holding your line. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to come down just one leg and the opposite. Good. So we can practice kicking up. If you want to practice coming off the wall once you kick up, that can be a good drill. So next, we'll same thing, in our checklist, kick up. You could bring one leg straight and one leg bent and thinking about your line, and then maybe taking that other leg off for some float. That could be one thing. If you want to practice away from the wall, but you need like a little training wheels maybe, you can try this exercise. So you measure your feet against the wall. So feet flat to the wall, measure where the palms go. Turn around. We're going to place our palms where our hips were. And then handstand hands, strong through the shoulders. We're going to walk those feet up the wall until our shoulders are over our palms. And then we're going to just tippy toe the feet down the wall a little bit until one leg is at a 90 degree. One leg can come straight up. And then maybe as you contract the abs, you can feel that leg against the wall. The tippy toes come off that wall a tiny bit, a little bit of float. Good, so try that. So if you want to, pause the video, have a little playtime, practice all of these things, kicking up, maybe kicking up towards the wall, maybe kicking up away from the wall. Pause the video and just play. And then meet me back here. When you're ready, we'll meet in child's pose. Good. Let's sit back onto our heels and shake those wrists out. Let's do some wrist circles. So just moving them around each way. Stretch the shoulders, coming into our tabletop position. We'll bring the right arm to the sky and then thread that right arm underneath the left. Maybe walk the fingertips of that left palm up towards the top of the mat. Good. Bring that left palm back underneath the shoulder. Peel that right arm back open to the sky. And then land that right palm on the mat and go the opposite way. So left arm towards the sky. And send that left arm underneath the right, landing that left cheek on the mat. Right fingertips move towards the top of the mat. Okay, walk the right palm back underneath the shoulder. Peel that left arm back, open towards the sky. And land that left palm on the mat. Just cross those ankles and roll over the feet. We're going to come onto the back body. So if you need to scooch up the mat, and just lie down onto the back body, bringing the knees into the chest. Just hugging the body. Just thanking the body for all the cool stuff it does for us. All the cool things it can do. Big breath in. Big breath out as we send each leg long. Coming into our resting pose, shavasana. Each leg long towards the end of the mat. Arms open to the side, palms up. Closing down the eyes if that feels good for you. And just resting here knowing you have done enough. Begin to bring some awareness back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Rolling the wrists and ankles. Bringing the arms up and overhead. Coming into a full body stretch. And bring the knees into the chest. And the arms around the knees, hugging the knees. Hugging the body one last time. And rolling onto your favorite side, maybe using your arm as a pillow. And then slowly and gently making your way up to a comfortable seated shape. Let's take a big breath in together, arms overhead, gathering all this beautiful energy we've created here today, this playful energy into the palms of our hands, bringing it into heart center, into our heart where we can take it with us into the rest of our week, the rest of our day. Thank you so much for joining me today, yogis. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Hari Om Tat Sat.